here we go. All right. Here we are again, digging, diving, learning. Today we're going to do the eye of the Sahara, right? It's visible
Very cool.
It's visible from space and is a key landmark. You're like,
interesting.
What is the eye of the Sahara? Let's find out. All right, let me just pull this up here and we'll get right into it.
Somewhere at the edge of the world, in the heart of the largest desert on the planet, lies a mystery that philosophers, archaeologists, and dreamers have been searching for centuries. The Richat Structure, the eye of the Sahara. From above, the Richat Structure resembles a giant...
So we're watching an AI-made thing, so some of the pronunciations are going to be off. So anybody wants to be a stickler, that's why it's happening.
Looking into eternity, perfect rings.
So that's a really good visual of what this is. That is the eye of the Sahara. It's really big. Obviously, when you do aerial, you're like, oh, it ain't that big. It's pretty big.
Like a pupil frozen in stone. Century after century, this eye watches as rivers disappear, civilizations crumble, and eras change. For a long time, it was considered simply a whim of nature. But when we looked deeper, we saw this eye holds a secret much older and much more important than we could have imagined. Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher, in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, described the sunken island of Atlantis.
So, if you don't know by now, this is real physical, tangible proof of perhaps what was once Atlantis. They've mapped it out. They've figured it out. It makes pretty good geological sense. So let's just keep going.
Rings of land and water. A great city surrounded by canals, built by the hands of a powerful civilization.
So this is sort of like what Plato, I think, was the one, or was it? I think it was Plato. He was describing what like the ultra advanced civilization was like, right? The one that didn't quite do it like we do with combustion engines, and their electricity was far better. They were pursuing like knowledge, and they were just like the ultimate kind of civilization. They were very far advanced. So that's kind of what we're getting into, that it kind of looked like this, and that's what it once was.
And a catastrophe that swallowed everything overnight. For centuries, Atlantis has been sought in the ocean, on the islands under the ice. But what if Plato wrote down memories of a catastrophe that happened on land, about a place that was once green, full of life, and then disappeared under the onslaught of the elements? Over the past 3 years, our team has conducted 4 expeditions to the Richat Structure. And with each new trip, it became increasingly clear. All right, so this is, since this is AI, it's taking massive liberties. I just wanted you to get a great visual of kind of what we're going to get into. So this video...
Discuss.
All right.
Like flooding 11,000.
So this is the guy that went on Joe Rogan recently, and he is a modern day sort of... I don't know what his title is, but he's not super, he doesn't have the title of what some of these other guys have, but these new guys are coming up and they're doing their research through like the internet, going there in person. And there's this whole new crop of philosophers slash, what is Indiana Jones? Why can't I get that word? What is the word?
I know. Give me a second. Archaeologists.
Archaeologists. Thank you.
Right?
Yes.
Archaeology, right? Yeah.
Archaeology has a lot of gatekeeping, and there's a lot of new fresh minds coming. And their big knock against them is, you don't have all of these degrees, which I'm talking a lot, but education has been gatekeeping it also. Like if you don't go through this rigorous, expensive education, you don't have the ability to be a professional in this, which is wrong. And this guy recently went on Rogan, and they're coming up with really good scenarios, and they don't have these massive degrees. So that's what the knock is against them professionally. They don't care,
Interesting.
So let's go.
Yeah. Sometimes though you need blood to do blood, right?
You 100% need it, and they don't want it because it's too open-minded, right?
Yeah.
Called
more to come
the
on that, I'm
Richat
sure.
Structure. And if you've never seen or heard of this place before, you are in for something truly fascinating. Some people refer to it as the Eye of the Sahara or the Eye of Africa, and when you see it from space, it's not hard to understand why. I mean, it really does look like an eye. and people are absolutely stunned when they see it for the first time. Between its unusual symmetrical shape, color, and immense size, it takes many people by curious surprise as they wonder not only what this thing is, but how did they go their whole life without seeing or hearing about it before. However, the fascination of this place goes far beyond its intriguing shape and design. 2 years ago, I made 3 videos where I shared more than a dozen remarkable similarities between this structure to that of Plato's description of the legendary lost ancient city of Atlantis.
So that's a great image right there. Let me blow it up so we see it. So what we're just kind of seeing is sort of an eye, right? But what you're seeing is the circles where there would be the buildings and everything else. That's how Plato described it. He's probably going to get into it, but there's proof of how much damage was done by the water and how it just destroyed all of this. And in a lot of those ancient texts, they said it was destroyed by the flood. So that is a really, in my opinion, a very good visual representation of what they're really trying to get to.
That's neat.
Atlantis.
I mean, I'm just imagining that city, as it was, let's say, and Atlantis as it was, or as shown in this image. I mean, that looks really cool to me. Mm-hmm. It's very appealing, that circular structure with it looks like moats, and then the rings, concentric rings. I like that.
Yeah, and that was supposed to be the cradle of extremely advanced thinking. All them like crafts that were in the sky that were like, when you all the different locations in the earth, how they have these stones that like align with different stars in the sky. These were the guys that were a big part of all that.
Oh, right. Is that the? Yeah. That's so
this is like the land before Kemet. This is old. People think the Bible is old. No, this is old. Old in human terms, right? We're talking.
Right.
We're not talking 10,000, 20,000. It's some time ago.
And these similarities are so astounding that the topic of Atlantis and the Richat Structure quickly became one of the most discussed and hotly debated topics involving lost ancient human civilizations, as tabloid news outlets from around the world picked up on the story, and the videos ignited thought-provoking conversation as to whether or not it's
says YouTube channel discovers lost city of Atlantis buried in the middle of the Sahara desert.
possible that the lost city of Atlantis actually existed, and if so, had it been hiding in plain sight in the remote, desolate Mauritanian desert of Africa for thousands of years. But even for most people, when they hear the words lost city of Atlantis, most would usually think of some animated Disney movie about a fictional underwater city, or perhaps...
It's funny, I'll just real quick, the way that our perception is built mainly from Hollywood about what we think of as the ancient world. It's either Disney or somebody did it, a movie, something like that.
Some beach resort in the Bahamas.
Yeah, like a beach resort, it's like...
That's kind of how I imagined it, right? Like I imagined a maybe semi-advanced island civilization, a beach resort of sorts,
Which, that looks really cool. I'd love to go there. I
wouldn't mind.
I've known people who have gone there. I think a guy and his family I knew went there, and he said it was great. It looks great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the ads look cool, too.
Future episode, we'll have to maybe watch one.
A little-known fact is that the true origins of the tale of Atlantis originates from the ancient Egyptians, as they had carved in stone that there were survivors of Atlantis, which were...
So this is good. Inner Harbor. So yeah, it's just kind of an interesting way to have a city. You got water, you got land, you got your homes. That's crazy.
Like an element of protection, as well as, there's a resource there. Transport is easier on water
than
on land.
Canal. And there was a canal to the sea. This skinny little thing up here would take you out to the ocean. That's kind of cool.
Said to be a sophisticated civilization that existed some 12,000 years ago. That was until their island was obliterated by a cataclysm, and the survivors of Atlantis found their way to the Nile Delta region to start all over again as colonizers. And I'll be retouching on many of those similarities again in this video.
To become colonizers, interesting. So I think he's talking about like the land of Kemet, Egypt, Jerusalem, like Bethlehem, Israel. I think that's kind of what he's saying. I could be wrong.
As incredible new information has come to light, and it is now time to revisit this topic again. You see, the interest in the Eye of the Sahara is not just limited to us here chatting about it over the internet, because it turns out that the CIA has also had quite an interest in this place as well, and it goes back decades.
You don't say. The American government has their finger, and of course they do.
I don't believe that.
Man, I've learned so much. If anybody doesn't watch the American Alchemy podcast, it is the greatest thing. They always constantly talk about how many government programs there are. There's so many.
Oh, it's probably, I would imagine it's probably mind-boggling, right? Like,
people get
way
all
beyond
excited.
What I know.
Yeah, even when, like, they'll be like, "Oh, I know what NORAD is and the CIA." It's like, man, that's
Right.
the ones you know. There's way more that you don't know. You know?
It's like it was this Hollywood movie, The Recruit, right? And I remember the Al Pacino character yelling at the trainee, "Nothing is as it seems. Remember, nothing is as it seems." So, take that, run with it, right?
I have been living those sentiments.
go.
I completely agree.
So get this. There are declassified CIA documents on the Richat Structure, the Eye of the Sahara. That's right, and I've seen the released files with my own eyes, and I'm going to share them with you here as well. And
Government document right here, quantifying something, right? American government document.
It's funny because
have to say-
I look at something like this and I know he's going to explain it, but just looking at it, I'm like, what am I looking at, right? It's your governmentese right there.
this stuff is beyond interesting. However, let me just say that there's nothing in these declassified files that say anything about Atlantis or lost ancient civilizations. What they do say is quite interesting. However, what these files do not say, the parts that are redacted and still classified, is really going to get you thinking.
All
So
right.
where do I begin? Well, it turns out in 1967, the CIA conducted a secret mission where they sent military aircraft to conduct covert surveillance
Lockheed
and
Martin.
scientific experiments on about a dozen different sites from around the world to study for geomagnetic anomalies. And of the few places in the world that they chose to study on this top secret mission, the mysterious Eye of the Sahara just so happened to be one of them. And like I said, the stated purpose of studying these sites was for identifying geomagnetic anomalies, which, if you're not familiar, the Earth's geomagnetic field is what shields us from the vastness of space, which, when you think about it, is incredible. I mean, it allows our planet to travel through the cosmos at incredible speeds, all while protected from the vacuum of space as we live comfortably and safely within a seemingly...
Interesting. See, it's repelling, right? Like you can see Mars, it's sort of taking the hit bigger, but Earth is literally like pushing it away from, kind of like, you know, Magneto from X-Men. It sort of reminds me what he does. You know, he just kind of. I always love balls of energy like that. It's cool.
It really is. It's something to see here too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's fascinating looking at this.
Yeah.
Like again, I wouldn't know what I was looking at unless someone explained it to me, because hardly an astrophysicist. But this is or physicist at all. This is cool.
I guess what he's saying is what the government, this study was doing, was finding the most powerful nodes on the planet that was creating this type of, I guess, force field in a way, like just pushing out. If we didn't have this, we would just be pelted and shredded. This planet.
We would be done. Yeah. We
Done.
wouldn't even be conscious as or here as we know ourselves. At least I imagine this planet would be a nightmare, like, you know,
just be a
Jupiter.
Be a floating rock. Just be a floating hollow rock. Well, I'm a hollow, but it'll just be a floating rock that who knows what's on.
The invisible shield that's in the shape of a bubble. So now that this secret mission is declassified, what were the results of that mission and the scientific experiments?
Let me know.
Well, we don't know, because
Oh, man.
that part is still classified, as there is nothing in these release files that say anything about what the findings of their scientific study were related to geomagnetic anomalies or their covert surveillance.
Interesting.
Which is utterly weird when you consider that this was back in 1967, 54 years ago from 2021, and we still don't get to know what the results of their findings were.
Wow. Yeah.
So, yeah, is it just me, or is that strangely interesting?
It is strangely interesting. So we have a lot of videos to record today. This was the Eye of Sahara, and I know, I only gave you a little, but what did you think of this? What'd you think?
This is this is fascinating. I've not heard of this before. Now, believe it or not, and so seeing this essentially
Somewhere
for
at
the
the
first
edge of-
time,
Please, or
Pardon me. I'm just
it's
trying
really
to
something,
put
and it's
some-
enlightening.
just trying to put B-roll on while you
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh, good call. Yeah, it's just so interesting. Certainly whatever the CIA is looking into, obviously regarding physics of our planet and scientific understanding of the world, so that for whatever reason the CIA wants to ensure that America understands it before its adversaries. I totally get it, but all this redacted information that he's describing, if that's true, it certainly raises a lot of questions for me too.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
I imagine it's a case for you, right? Like what do you think of all this? This is kind of mind-blowing to me.
So, when I was a kid, I don't know. I liked video games, and I remember I had this game that was all about Atlantis or Egypt, and it always really brought this imagination to I would just get excited. I felt creative from it, right? Past 10 years, 5 years or so, ever since COVID, I have gone and learned so much more. And I'm not saying I know things like I'm smart. I'm just saying I've gone down a lot of different rabbit holes, and the Eye of the Sahara is connected to so many other things I'm really interested in, which is Egypt, monolithic structures, consciousness, metaphysics, and I always thought this was just something that was in video games, and it just this is what I think. It's exciting and horrifying to know that magic is real. It's real. Everything on this planet is so magical. The science of it, the everything, and I can't. The thing that I do lay awake at night and think about sometimes is just what were we once not that long ago? What were the gods really here? Were the UFOs that patrol into space, did they come down? Because they always talk about they walked among us. I think they did. I think there was some really high level things going on not that long ago, and I think the flood wrecked it. And I think it could have been orchestrated by something like a pay grade higher than whatever was down here interacting with us. It could have been intentional,
I like that. Pay grade higher.
It could have been intentional, and it makes me feel like a little ant on this planet, but I am also super so thankful that I get to learn as I get older, and curiosity gets to be just get to keep going, That's what
I feel you right there. I mean, I'm so grateful that I'm here. I think back to a quote from, I've heard it from Christopher Hitchens. I'm sure others have said it. We are essentially made of stardust, just at least physically. Stars explode and things happen in the galaxy, and just physically, we're here, we're conscious, and then you and I individually are sitting here talking about this phenomenon in the Sahara Desert. It's just awesome to me. That itself is magical.
Yeah.
Even if nothing else is magic, that alone is to me, and I'm just moved and impressed. And these images really are something too. Even though they're AI generated, I think they're very cool.
I think AI is good for a lot of things, and I think 10, 20 years from now for storytelling, it's going to be phenomenal. All they need to do is get the wonky voices out, get those AI learning tools like the dictation, the voices you hear it could literally be the Tower of Babel. It could break the language barrier and bring back the folk religions, and it can take the dogma out and just give the true story. I
think it's going to be awesome. AI, for its part, going off on a slight tangent.
Yeah.
Essentially, I agree with you. There are a lot of dangers and potential perils, but like any new technology, like a lot of risks, anything, they're also so much potential. I mean, it's going to be amazing once they get that cadence with the speech cadence correct.
It also
and
brings,
that's coming real soon. This is going to blow our minds.
it also brings a lot of resistance to the established religions because they got all figured out. And a lot of people got things all figured out, and that could even be
certainty, right?
The gatekeepers of the knowledge that we have now, the college universities and all this. They got the whole narrative down. They got the whole payments down, the pipeline. They don't want it, and it's gonna crack through. We are in the age of Aquarius, and we're fundamentally changing in a whole new way.
Nice.
So yeah, that one actually turned out pretty good. So anything else you want to add, or is that it?
No, sir. No, it's, I'd say since all those changes are coming at us like lightning at this rate, so it feels. I say let's enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I
That's pretty
mean,
much it.
I'm gonna stay in the position of a student, a curious person, and I'm not gonna push against it. I mean, there's certain boundaries. Obviously, you don't want to erode, but I think it's cool. Let's keep learning.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm with you.
All right. And with that, we're out.